Hello, coffee obtained. Very milky coffee today. That's still very hot. I think I'm beginning to form a bit of a habit of setting TBRs at like 10 books and not reading them all. So this month I picked out 8 and hopefully I will actually read them this month. But I'm halfway through a book right now, so I'm going to show you what I'm reading currently is Our Castle by the Sea by Lucy Strange. This follows a family in England during World War II, starting in 1939. That's when the book starts. But the mother of this family is a German. And without giving away too many spoilers, she is basically accused of being a German spy. And it follows like her. Well, it technically follows the children. There's 2 daughters. So it technically follows the children, but the mother being German is a key point in the book. Yeah, but it does follow a bit of the mother's discrimination that she experiences, but also the discrimination that the children experience being half German in the middle of World War II, living in England. But there's also a kind of a supernatural element. But the first full book that I'm going to read in July is The Shock of the Fall, and this is a psychological thriller following Matthew Holmes, who's a 19-year-old boy who loses his brother. His brother dies, his older brother. But we follow Matthew through like the mental health issues he has after that, feelings of grief, and just him dealing with the death of his brother. The next is The Kiss Curse, and I'm technically partway through this, but I lost it, and now I've recently found it. So I'm going to try and finish this in July. But this is the sequel to The Ex-Hex, but in this we follow Hannah, which is Piper's sister, and Fox, which is Rye's. That is completely wrong. That is The Kiss Curse is the sequel to The Ex-Hex, and it follows Gwen and Wells. Gwen is in fact the cousin of Vivi, and Wells is the brother of Rise. Wells moves to Gravesglen and starts a magic shop, which is obviously like a competing magic store to the ones that the Jones owned. But there is romance aspects to it because Gwen and Wells form a romance. My brain is dying. Oh my god. The next is another psychological thriller, but this follows a woman who murders her husband and then turns mute. But we read from the perspective of the psychiatrist or psychologist. I'm going to pretend like I know the difference between those two. Yeah, we read from the perspective of the psychologist that she sees. And I'm gonna be honest, this as well has been on my TBR for a couple months now. And because we read from the perspective of the psychiatrist, I don't know if it's going to be filled with words that I can't read. I'm practically illiterate at this point. Okay, so this is the book that I was describing the plotline of earlier when I was talking about the Ex-Hex. This is Hook, Line and Sinker, which is the sequel to It Happened One Summer, where we do follow Hannah and Fox. Hannah being the sister of, what is her name? Piper. Hannah being the sister of Piper, and Fox being the best friend / co-worker of Brendan. But this is a love triangle / friends to lovers romance, because when Piper moves to the small town fisherman village, she gets a crush on Fox, but also on a person that she works with, which I remember actually being hinted at in It Happened One Summer. There's a couple lines referring to Piper and her possible romantic endeavours. But Fox is very much a man of the streets, so she doesn't really trust that he's ready for a committed relationship, kind of, so he's kind of proving his worth. I said kind of way too many times then. The next is a thriller dark comedy, apparently, but this follows Grace Bernard, and her dad is a very rich man. I think he's a millionaire, but her mother reaches out to her father asking for help of some kind, and the father says no, and then Grace takes it upon herself to murder 6 of her family members as revenge. I have no words. The next actually is Nicola Upson. It's Sorry for the Dead by Nicola Upson. And this follows a crime author who is then accused of a real murder. So then she has to like recount the events of the summer of 1915 from when she was like a child, when a girl that she knew suddenly passed away. So she has to like recall all of these events. That was like a traumatic event for her in order to prove her innocence, basically. And then another, I believe this is a mystery. But this follows a group of retired school teachers when in their town, loads of people start receiving like letters revealing their like deepest and darkest secrets. So like people get divorced, people lose their jobs, everything goes crazy. And these teachers take it upon themselves to solve this mystery of like who is ruining people's lives. And the last one is Dating Dr. Dill. This is a forced proximity / romance of convenience, and it kind of starts with Karina, who is the main woman, and her father tells her that he is going to sell the family home and he will gift the family home to her if she agrees to get engaged within 3 months. But then there is also Dr. Prem, I think, Dr. Prem, as we're going to call him. And he is currently fundraising to build a new community health center. And I just got, oh my god, my brain. Karina's aunties message Dr. Prim and say like they will fund the building of the health center if he agrees to make Karina fall in love with him. I think that made sense, but my brain is honestly
if you made it this far
right now, you might enjoy one of these videos. So yeah, those are the 8 books that I want to read this month. But yeah, if you have just watched 12 solid minutes of me pretending like I know what I'm doing, you might like more videos of me pretending like I know what I'm doing.